Well, obviously not the outcome we were looking for last week, but another opportunity to go ahead and get on the bike and get a win this week against the Lions. It's a very tough team, very good opponent, especially on the special teams front, in which we got to make sure we're ready to go and be ready to attack them and hopefully get another win column in that after Sunday.
Kene called his kickoff return the hole a pickup hole. In other words, a car could drive through it. Is that kind of about the perfect execution of that kickoff?
You know, I mean, it was a great execution by those blockers. I think they did a great job, obviously, from the backside with Blake Lynch his block, Chasina's block, all the way to the front side with the double team with Troy Dye and Stalker, and obviously Doran had a great block, and then Josh Metellus had a phenomenal block to help seal it against one of the top core teamers. And Kene was able to just see that lane and hit it. And CJ Ham and CJ Ham and Madison were able to do a great job sealing it, and we're able to go ahead and get to the races.
How do you anticipate being able to use Kene going forward now that Dalvin's not going to play this week? Clint was saying he's going to get some carries on offense. Like, how do you have to balance kind of that load for him, or does it stay the same?
No, I mean we're attacking it where he's our kickoff returner, and that's he's got a lot of value in that phase, obviously, into this team, and he gets more carries on offense. That's great, but yeah, we see him as the kickoff returner until coach further says so.
Do you think teams will change their approach to kicking off to you guys now that Kene has 2 for a touchdown?
It could be twofold. I mean, yeah, they could definitely say, all right, let's go ahead and test these guys. They're having success, but we're good too on their coverage units, so they'll be like, all right, let's go ahead and attack them and see what we can do. But yeah, you got to be ready for everything. I expect any type of shorter kicks, liner kicks, balls on the ground to touchbacks. I mean, anything. And it's not just because of success we've had on it, but we've been doing that throughout preseason, and because it's just anticipating any kind of kick. So we've had a plan for that, and we'll be ready.
It's not only his explosiveness, but his vision too is really valuable when you see him on that. I mean, all former or current running backs have that, but when people can really zone in, what's the best thing that you like about him when he does that?
I mean, he does a great job. We talk about pressing the hole, just like any kind of runner on zone running. I mean, you attack and you put the defenders on our blockers. And he does a great job setting that return and help our blockers by putting those defenders on them. And then he does a great job, like you mentioned. I mean, he has that vision. He's got the natural instincts, and he's able to stick his foot in the ground and get vertical and make guys miss. He's got a really good awareness and feel for where those defenders are.
When it comes to using his speed, I mean, there are a lot of guys who are fast, right? What's the difference between someone who's just fast and someone who can actually be football fast?
Yeah, I mean, he's an explosive athlete. I mean, he can get to his top end speed really quickly. He's quick. I mean, he can make that one violent cut that you see, and you guys compared, Cordero to him a little bit too, but takes that one violent cut and can get vertical right away without even breaking a stride. But it's just his awareness and understanding where the bodies are on the field, just the natural instincts in terms of seeing, the kicker crossing his face, and even though their backside one was come off the edge, I mean, just able to stick his foot on the ground and use the kicker's momentum against him and get vertical and kick on cut underneath him. So he's got great instincts. Saw that in college. That's why we wanted to go ahead and go after him. But he's just a really talented athlete, and excited for him, but also for this whole unit. I mean, they've been blocking really hard, and they really take a lot of pride in what they're doing. And so I'm just happy with the success they're having. But it doesn't matter anything now. I mean, we got to go ahead and have success this Sunday and make sure we help our team with field position and get some points on the board.
Sim said that Detroit special teams has about 6. I think he used the term BW, whatever that means.
Yeah.
What, in your own words, what does that mean, and how do you describe like the special teams players that you guys are scheming against?
So the BW, we'll say game records for right now, but so they got really good personnel. I think they do a great job. They have really good speed. I mean, they have a 3-4 defense in which they got big athletes that can run. And so when we talk about that, I mean, you talk about some of their guys that they have like 44. I mean, he's plays a lot on defense too, but I mean, he's a really good player. 99, 57, 51. I mean, they got some guys out there that can run, but we also have really good players too. So I think we match up well with them. But they play hard, and it's going to be a tough opponent to face, but every week is too. So we just got to make sure we're dialed in, and we go ahead and do what we do. We keep it simple, and just allow our guys to go out and play fast and do what we do, and it's going to be a good matchup.
team that's lost so many games this season, like on a game-winning field goal. Do you anticipate them doing anything differently in like trying to block field goals or anything that you have to prepare for?
I think you got to anticipate it always, because I think when you don't anticipate or expect something like that, then that's when you let your guard down and something bad could happen. So we're always expecting special teams trying to win the game in some form or fashion to create a spark. I believe that's one of their strengths on their teams, and they do a great job. So we just got to be ready for any and all. They obviously had 2 fakes against earlier in the year against the Rams, and we just got to make sure we go ahead and do what we do. We make sure we're disciplined and sound in everything that we're doing in our schemes, and just let our guys go out and play.
When you see Greg pushing most of his misses off to the right, is that a consistent problem that you're diagnosing on those?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we've obviously addressed, and we've been working through that. Making sure we have addressed it, but working through practice, tape, making sure we're on it, and we got a couple things that we are changing up a little bit this week. But again, I mean, Greg, he's a really he's an excellent kicker. He's going to go ahead and go out there as a professional, and he's going to do his job at a high level, and expect him to go ahead and make all those kicks here on out.
Do you ever kind of debate which hash mark to line up at on extra points or down the middle, or is there a preference that you have or he has?
My preference is whatever's going to allow him to go ahead and make the kicks. And there's some point where we might have to just go ahead and trump it and just put it wherever we think. But it's a conversation we've been having within our organization. It's not as big of a deal right now. We're just going to continue to press forward, and we've addressed it, and we'll see what we end up doing. Moving forward.
Kene said he's looking to field a 4x100 track team with him, Dan Chisna, and Chris Boyd. He's looking for a 4th.
Well, it's not going to be me. So I'll assure you that, yeah.
Who do you think could fill that role?
We kind of joke about it a little bit on special teams. I mean, we talk about this Club 35 in terms of our kickoff unit, speed, getting across the other 35-yard line, and I give them extra bonus points on that. Now, that's only 30 yards right there from where you're kicking it off. But and we have some speed. We have Josh Metellus that's always getting there. Chesina, Boyd, Dorn's gotten it a couple times. So we have some speed on that unit. So if you're talking definitely for 30 yards, I mean we got some guys on there. But oh man, that's a good question. I can cancel myself though, so I'm not in that one.
Did you come up with the name, like Club 35?
Just something that we've all, just kind of grit the speed. I don't always, talk about coaching them, run through the goal line always, so to speak. But, those first initial 15 yards to the 50-yard line, I think is crucial, just getting the start, and then carrying it through at least to another 15 yards, because that's typically when, it's going to be declared a touchback or not. But we're always covering through the whistle until that whistle's blown. But, I like them having that speed all the way downfield until you get up on those blockers.
There's an enthusiasm for getting guys prepared to execute a fake. What's kind of the emotions of being prepared to defend fakes?
It's making sure. I mean, obviously, it's through film study. We got to make sure we go ahead and take away any situation. We got to know the situation down in distance. What they could do. Where certain guys are. But again, you got to make sure you're covering it all on any, because unlike offense and defense. There's a lot of, their base fronts or your base formations that you can go ahead and defend against. But pump formations, punt return, when you're trying to run a fake, could be any kind of looks. There's just an infinite amount of looks. So you got to have rules, and you got to make sure you stick to those rules and make sure we have all those eligibles covered and, work through all those situations. But it's just these guys film study, just making sure that they're on point with, the technique and the rules.
And when you're facing a team like the Lions, who have been in like every game but haven't won yet, I mean, do you view those teams as more dangerous as far as like attempting a trick play or fake punt or something?
No, I think we still got to view it as the same opponent. I mean, this opponent, they're a very good team, obviously, but they're going to try and create a spark either way, even if they're undefeated or if they haven't won a game. I don't think they're going to view it any differently. They're just trying to win a football game and win those situations, and we got to make sure we're dialed in, and I think our guys are, and we just got to make sure that every situation we're ready to go and we're accounted for.
Ryan, the Seahawks had an onside kick recovery flagged on Monday because it's kind of an obscure rule. Are you on the lookout for stuff like that around the league to either use as a teaching point or to implement?
Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off on that.
No,
Sorry.
no,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, always. I mean, I do clips around the league, unusual situations, because obviously we don't have time to practice everything. There's not enough time in the day, even if you have all 24 hours. But so I'll watch every clip around the league, and then I'll use that and interject it in our meetings, situational stuff. So yeah, actually, our guys watched that today with that situation, and it's just getting aligned correctly. I mean, those are the things that we can eliminate. Just getting pre-snap. You talk about pre-snap penalties on offense and defense. It's our pre-snap alignments, making sure our formation's correct. You got to have 2 in between the numbers and the hash, 2 in between outside the numbers, and then the 5th guy can go wherever. But you got to make sure you tone the 34-yard line. So all those things, we got to make sure we're dialed in, and you can't take it lightly. I mean, you could go back to the Chargers game when we're on kickoff return. They had an illegal formation, and our guys are calling them out on it, which was great, because our guys are having an awareness of what's going on of the situation. So our guys are telling the official, hey, look, these guys are aligned illegally. So, it's not something we take lightly. We got to make sure we're dialed in everything we do, and we talk about it all the time. That was one of the first meetings we had, on OTAs, is just getting aligned correctly. So it's very important.
How many of those clips do you watch a week?
Of the clips?
Is this your program personnel people put together?
No, I put it together. Yeah, it's something. I mean, you always learn from these situations too. I think in every situation, you just don't know what will come up, but it's kind of fascinating. Some of the things that do come up. Time, like game clock management at the end of the game. If you want to go for 2, or just certain situations pop up. So I'll watch every clip around the league. So roughly, kickoff. There's because it's for the whole league around 140 of kickoffs, and then there's around 140 on average with punts, and then the same thing with field goals and vary obviously, but early in the year it's a lot more because there's no bye weeks. So I'll watch all those. I'll tag the ones that are important. Probably chop out some of those non-kicks, and then I'll start just sprinkle them into the meeting so we can go ahead and learn about the situations. I mean it's You get all the video from the league, and then you sit there and just go ahead and bust through it.
So they separate it by kickoffs, or you go through every game and just
Yeah, I go
fast
through every
forward?
game.
Okay,
Yeah, I go through every game.
gotcha.
Yeah, just something I've done for years. Just another way to go ahead and learn.
You guys ever sleep?
Not this week. I mean, it's always there's something always to keep you up.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys.
Thank